Thanks, Derek. We want to talk about in the aftermath of the shootings at Michigan State. There are so many heavy thoughts that can be difficult to contain and difficult to manage as we are going to work, eventually as the kids return to school, all of it. Dr. Jeffrey Guina, a psychiatrist, chief medical officer at Easterseals, Michigan, and Beaumont Behavioral Health, joins us. Dr. Guina, thank you for being back here with us.
Absolutely.
From a personal aspect, I just wanted to ask you about understanding trauma. And I remember after one of the plane, in the Captain Sully, in the plane landing on the Hudson, I remember the flight attendants who were in the front versus in the back had very different experiences. And so that to me is a good metaphor for what I'm seeing in my own house and across the board. People are experiencing what happened at Michigan State in different ways. And I think it's important to note that and understand that we all grieve differently and process differently.
Yeah, I think it's true. Part of it is proximity to the event of what's going on. You know, there were people watching it on TV. There were people who may have heard gunshots. There were people hiding in their closet in the dark. And there were parents, you know, desperately trying to text and call and reach their kids. And then even people who experienced the proximity the same may have experienced the trauma differently, whether that be because of their personal experiences, their history with trauma, their history with mental health, their upbringing, a variety of things. And so everybody can experience even the same exact thing in a different way, and how that affects them may be different as well.
And why is that important for us to understand?
I think it's important because I think no matter what people are experiencing after this, it's still a normal reaction to an abnormal experience. There is no abnormal way to deal with this. Some people are going to be ready to go right back right away, and that's fine. Some people are going to need to ease back into normalcy and routine, and some people are going to need a lot more support to do that. And no matter which of those categories someone falls into, that's okay.
What do you say, and this is very specific, when you see someone hurting, it's easy to reach out to them, to hug them, to listen, whatever is needed. But some people internalize, they don't say anything, they don't react in any way, and you don't want to force your emotion on them. So as a doctor, what do you say as a parent or a friend someone could do when someone is not reacting?
Yeah, it's such a good point. And anyone who's a parent knows asking their kid, how are you doing? Fine.
I know. Right. One-worders. I hate them. Yeah.
And we all do that to some extent, even when we're not fine. I think the important thing is that whether they're kids or adults, and if you're a student at Michigan State, you're an adult, even though you're someone's kid.
Yeah.
But whether you're a kid or an adult, knowing that someone's there to talk when you're ready, I think is really important. And hopefully knowing that they're going to listen. I think a lot of times as parents, we want to fix things. We want to make our kids feel better. And so we rush in there, and that can come off as preachy or come off as they think they know everything. Making sure they know we're there to listen and empathize with whatever they're going through.
You know, just overriding, like, over the last couple of years, it has been not a normal experience for school-age children. High school, college, these kids are dealing with a lot, whether it was being away from school for 2 years, school shootings seemingly on the rise, and you know, Oxford last year, Michigan State this year. These kids are dealing with so much. As a generation, how can we help them? What would you tell the people that just want to help these kids? I overheard a story last night. It was a prayer service. This individual had no relation to Michigan State, no kids in school still, but she was sobbing at this prayer service, looking at a kid saying, I'm so sorry. This is what you guys have to deal with. I'm so sorry. She was hurting so bad for these kids as a whole. We want to help so bad. What do we do to help them? Our kids in our neighborhood, anybody that's going through this right now.
You're so right. Whether it's COVID, lockdowns, school shootings, a lot of these kids grew up with really disrupted childhoods. And I was at Oxford schools after the shooting with the high schoolers and middle schoolers trying to provide support. And one thing that really struck me was that most of them weren't talking about the trauma. I was expecting to go there to process the shooting. So many of them just talked about the stress of their lives being disrupted, not seeing their friends, not going to school, not playing sports. And I think one of the best things we can do is try to help get these kids and adults back to routine as soon as possible and normalcy as possible, and try to protect that for them.
Our brains do like structure, right? Even if it's as simple as, here's what we're going to do tomorrow at whatever pace is appropriate. But I think, Doctor, that the unknown, and when we don't have a plan and we're not sure what we're going to do the next day, I think that adds to the chaos, doesn't it?
Sure. And so I think just getting back to the basics, 3 meals a day, getting good sleep, these are things that we can provide for our loved ones going through trauma. Having that family dinner and talking about anything, whether it's difficult things or just normal things.
All right, good stuff. Dr. Guina, thank you so much.
Thanks, Doc.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for your time.
We do want to tell you this, because it has been a tough week for so many people. There are some resources out there. This is the National Disaster Distress Helpline, one of many, but you can call or text the number 1-800-985-5990. And there's someone to talk to all the time, 24/7. We'll be right back.